Okay, Logan's question is up next. It says, how long is it acceptable to drop my retirement contributions to save up for a home? Is 2 years too long while only investing 5% to receive my match? I'm 30 years old, I have no debt, and I have $120K in my Roth 401k. He is echoing something I think we see a lot, especially when it comes to homes, and I would love to hear y'all's take on this.
Yeah, so how long? First of all, he said he's got $120,000 in Roth assets. One thing I want you to do right now, Logan, if you go to moneyguy.com/resources, check out our wealth multiplier, go look at what that $120,000 is on track to become by the time you reach 65, even without saving any more, even without adding another dollar. It gets really exciting. I want to say the number at 30 is what, 23? Is that right?
Yes.
23. I'm going from memory there. It's pretty stinking exciting, but that's not your question. That part was for free. Your question was, how long is it acceptable to decrease savings so that I need to save for a house? And this is a really hard one to answer, because what if we said, well, 6 months is it? Then you would say, all right, well, I guess I will never own a home. What you have to do is you have to go into it understanding that every decision we make when it comes to personal finances has an opportunity cost to it. If I choose to save for a home instead of investing, there is a cost associated with that. If I choose to invest instead of saving for a home, there is also a cost associated with that. And you have to figure out what costs are acceptable and what goals am I trying to achieve. So how long, my answer for you, Logan, how long is acceptable to put retirement savings on hold in order to be able to save up for a house? As little time as possible is likely going to benefit you the greatest. So I would figure out how to get as creative as I can to make that window as small as I can so I can get in the house and then get back to saving as quickly as I can.
And we've actually built that into the system. Mm-hmm. That's why, if you'll notice, on your first house, your very first house, 3 to 5% is the down payment requirement, not the 20% that you hear all the other financial gurus talk about, not even 10%, as they've had to modify their rules because they've realized, hey, maybe there's a flaw in this structure. 3 to 5%. So that way you get on the home ownership train, but you don't have to forfeit your future self getting those retirement savings. So I'd ask you, go back and look at your assumptions. If it's taking you 2 years, then I'm curious to know, are you doing 3 to 5% on this first house? Or are you trying to be an achiever of all things and you're trying to be a debt crusader paying this thing down to 20%? Go look at your assumptions on that, because I do know, you said he's 30 years old?
30 years old.
30 years old. That wealth multiplier is something else. We want you to extinguish debt early as well, but it's just there's a time and a place. And while you're under 45, the multiplier, the wealth multiplier effect of every dollar that comes in your control is so valuable. We want to focus on the get wealthy behaviors. And then, of course, when you're over 45, you can now do the de-risking and the stay wealthy behaviors, but don't get it out of order. And that's why we've tried to build into the rules, how do you deal with this so you can reasonably afford a house to shelter and grow your family in, but how do you also not hurt your future self and build up an army of dollar bills so your money can work harder than you can with your back, your brain, and even your hands.
You know what I love that he said also? He said, I'm going to back it down, but I'm still saving 5%.
Yeah.
I'm guessing there's probably some employer match or something in there. So even when you're doing this, you're still following the financial order of operations. No debt, no step 3, back to step 2, doing that and save for a house. Even just having your contributions and your employer contributions going to work for you is huge. It will make a huge difference, and I bet that your future self will thank you for it.